issues of control are really interesting now. People say, "Oh, if only I could be in the flight deck and be in control." To which I say, "Well, what would you do in the flight deck? What's the plan?" I don't know. If I could just be at the controls, I'd be a lot better. Of course, it's an idea, but it tells us that people are finding it very difficult to sit back as a passenger and allegedly give up control. The truth of the matter is, one exerts control to make the booking or to tell someone to make the booking for you. You organise yourself, you might get picked up, the luggage might be delivered for you, whatever it might be if you're travelling first class. But most of the time, we are the ones who make decisions. We make the decision when I'm going to board, we make, where we can, the decision where I want to sit. But the important part is to make the decision that I'm the one who's now going to say, I don't need to control anything anymore. I'm in control of when that decision gets made. When I sit down, put my stuff in the overhead, put my stuff under the seat in front of me, take out my book, take out my iPad, take out my iPhone, my reading materials, or just put on my headphones and just listen, I make that decision. Okay? I don't need to control anything else. There are paid professionals whose job it is to do this work, and I'm very happy to give up control of every little thing that happens to me to paid professionals. Okay? Some of you may select your airline based on your observations of which paid professionals you want to carry you from place A to place B, which kind of aircraft you want to be on, so forth and so on. But essentially the task is, yes, in certain areas of my life I demand control. I like to micromanage. Fine. Keep on doing that if you want to. But leave it at the door of the plane, because you don't need to do this on the plane. Manage yourself and just yourself. Learn what to do on that plane to self-manage and to leave your levels of anxiety, arousal, in just the right place. If it seems to move all over the place, you've got to learn modulation techniques. Those techniques center around, again, breathing, self-talk, and what you physically do with your body. How to manage yourself so you're not increasing your levels of arousal unnecessarily by gripping seats, holding your breath, or whatever it might be. And these are sort of things that one likes to teach in sessions. Most aviation-based fear of flying programs will teach a variety of these skill sets. They won't try and do a deep dive into childhood activities. However, that said, every so often in my work, I meet people for whom being chronically anxious, low levels of anxiety, no matter where they are, perhaps suggest early life issues of loss of attachment, lots of self-doubt issues, and it's not surprising that those things should make themselves known within the flying environment. In that case, again, I try and help them with life skills and skills on being on board the plane, but then once the flight has been successful and there are still some chronic anxiety issues where the success has not generalized, then it might be time to do some more deep dive, intensive psychotherapy work. I may do that work, or I may refer them on, because clearly the fear of flying, the claustrophobia, the fear of other things is part of a lifelong project, shall we say, of being able to self-manage, emotionally regulate and contain these anxious feelings. And sometimes it does require a more long-term approach, not just a skills-based approach. So let's go over quickly. Calmness. Nice when it happens. It is not the target behavior. Okay? We don't work towards just being calm as the solution, just being mindful as the solution, just being meditative as the solution. They're all interesting techniques and all with varying utility for various people, but I don't see them as being the answer. Distraction. Again, we can often self-discover or read about it, but at some point we realize that it's going to give out. We can't keep doing it this way. It's finite. And it's really just a run away from the uncomfortable sensations, and they're the things we've got to deal with. And then finally, we've got the issue of control. Control is an idea that says, if I can be in control, I can minimize my discomfort. But when you say to yourself, it has to be in my control, I demand to have control over everything that happens to me, then it's going to lead to very high levels of arousal, because once you walk on board the plane, you've got to be able to say, I choose when to give up controlling every little thing that happens, and I take control of the things that I can control and which I want to control, which are important, and leave aside the things which I can't and are not important to my wherewithal. Okay, that's not about being safe. It's about feeling I'm in control by my choice and by what I do. So be wary of making demands upon yourself and the people around you to put you in control, because it's quite illusory when it comes to life in the early 20th century, in 2018 as I'm recording this. I hope this has been helpful for you. I'll come along and do some elaborations on this on another occasion. Any questions? There is a comment section down below. You can write them in or make your own observations. Not everything that I say will appeal to everybody, and your experience, of course, will be very different. I've seen thousands of people, but not everybody. So you're most welcome to write a useful commentary, not just for me to have some feedback, but for others who might want to learn from your own experiences. Thanks.
Yeah, I know.